Just so you know, Janice Dickinson isn't sorry for her criticisms of America's Next Top Model. In an Instagram video, the television personality recently responded to a fan's question about whether she had any regrets about her comments on the modeling competition series. Dickinson replied of being a judge on the show, no, it was acting, and that's that. She then added a caption, "People forget that TV is acting." Dickinson was known for making harsh comments to contestants on the Tyra Banks-hosted series, which aired from 2003 to 2018. Some of her comments included telling a model that her face in a photo looked like the battery died in her vibrator, and telling her fellow judges that America's Next Top Model is not a plus-size model, referring to a contestant with a prominent lower body. Another time, Dickinson told a black model that comparing her untouched and retouched images was like a Hitchcock film, and later appeared to make sounds that some social media users thought were similar to those of a monkey. Another time, the two appeared to critique contestant Robin Manning's body size while mulling over her fate. Dickinson asked Banks, "Are we shooting for the large size category?" To which Banks responded, yes, Robin would represent a plus-size model." Banks then continued, "One problem that I do have with Robin, I think on the top she's not plus-size, and on the bottom she is." Dickinson then said, "Robin's out as far as I'm concerned about being a supermodel." She then added, "America's Next Top Model is not a plus-size model. I just wish her upper body was bigger and matched her lower body better." Clips from the show's 24 cycle run have resurfaced on the internet in recent years, including problematic scenes such as a photo challenge that required the models to paint their skin different colors to pose as women of different races. As the clips continue to resurface, Dickinson, Banks, and America's Next Top Model have all faced criticisms for their words, actions, and scenes. In a 2015 interview with Oprah, Where Are They Now?, Dickinson opened up about her role on the show, explaining that she was hired to be a female Simon Cowell, to be feeding in a negative fashion things about the girls. In the same interview, the celebrity rehab alum who rose to prominence as a model in the 1970s and 1980s spoke out about Banks, with whom she had a public feud after calling Banks fat in 2007. She said, "Tyra's a tough businesswoman and she does great TV. I respect her as a woman," adding, "I've said some pretty bad things about her in the past because I'd been fired, and I was very hurt that I'd been fired, so I acted out. That's not when I acted in a sober-like fashion. I really apologize to you, Tyra, for the things I might have said to you, because she is a great lady, and thanks to her, I've had a very successful career on television." She added, "I loved working with Tyra Banks. It was an amazing experience." Janice is not a stranger when it comes to creating a fire in social media. She also made a controversy back in 2021 when she said that the Hadids and Jenners don't compare to 80s supermodels. At that time, she appeared on Behind the Velvet Rope with David Yontef to discuss how true talent is reserved for models of the 80s. Nothing was off limits in true Dickinson fashion. She admitted as she opened about the harsh realities of the industry, the models of the 70s, 80s do not compare with the models of today. She then added, "The Instagram models that get famous and they put into Vogue, the Kylie Jenners and the Gigi Hadids and the Bella Hadids." She continued that while they're naturally gifted with gorgeous genes, it's not the same as what she and firstcomers went through to earn their place. She said, "They're very pretty women, but they're not supermodels. I'm sorry. I don't agree with you. You know, I've seen them in advertising and Vogue uses them because they have millions and millions and millions of followers." Dickinson was speaking about marketing strategies. Magazines with a known older audience, in her opinion, rely on these influencers and social media leaders to boost their own publicity. She said, "Vogue has the subscription of 800,000, and Kylie Jenner has got, 25 million people following her? Something like that. So why don't they make the cut?" Janice explained, "They've never been on the level of the girls from the 70s and 80s and the 90s. We were fabulous." She then added, "We would painstakingly get pinned by Yves Saint Laurent and Karl Lagerfeld, who would fit the clothes on us that we wore on the shows." She then continued by saying, "I'm just thinking they're not. They have one look. They don't really diversify the movements. They just stand there and get paid millions of dollars. Oh, they are not fierce walkers." Dickinson then compared their editorial and walking poses to those of women in her era. She bluntly stated that, in her opinion, today's models lack the ability to transform fabrics and high-end fashion through modeling. She said, "There was Pat Cleveland and Iman, who you never wanted to follow on the runway. Cleveland was like a surfer, surfing down the runway. She was fantastic. She knew how to take a dress or gown and make it work. For her part, Banks has previously addressed the backlash to America's Next Top Model on social media. In May 2020, she shared, in a since-deleted tweet, "Been seeing the posts about the insensitivity of some past America's Next Top Model moments, and I agree with you." She then continued, "Looking back, those were some really off choices. Appreciate your honest feedback, and I'm sending so much love and virtual hugs."